Welcome back. All right, so we are continuing with Unit 6, and today we're going to warm up with some sound riddles. So I'm going to read you a riddle, and you're going to answer it. And what you want to notice in these riddles is what sound is it that we hear over and over again. Okay, so what word would be an animal that is small and in cartoons usually eats cheese? Mouse. Ooh, you're good. Yes, mouse. Okay, how about this one? How about this one? Which word describes something you need when you play a board game? Well, patience, yes, and time. Okay, people to play with. But usually when you're playing a board game, there's some materials that you need. Which material is pretty common in board games? Not the game. Oh, come on now. Come on. You got this. You got this. Dice. We're looking for the dice. Good job. Okay, what about this one? Which word tells what you do with the dishes after washing them? Okay, yes, you're going to put them up, but so technically washing as a whole process ends with the dishes put up, but the literal step of applying the soap and washing them, then the very next, no, it's not drying them. You can't dry them. You have to rinse. You have to rinse the dishes. Rinse. Good. Okay. Which word describes the front part of your head? Okay, not just this part, but not the forehead, not just the forehead, but like this whole front of your head is your face. It's your face. Good. Okay. What word describes what we sometimes call pennies? Okay, yes, they are money. A little bit more, a little more. We talked about this the other day. Pennies are an example of cents. Cents. Not like the good cents, but like money cents. Good. All right, two more. Which word describes how you move to music? Dance. That's dance. Excellent. What about which word is an animal that I am very afraid of? I am very afraid of these winged creatures. They honk. They hiss. They're very territorial and apparently very protective. And I just went way off. Yes. Goose. I wanted you to say goose. My bad. I did not write this example. I would have picked a very different animal. All right, so let's review the answers. Mouse, dice, rinse, face, sense, dance, goose. What sound do we hear over and over and over again? We hear the sound s. Excellent. Yep, that's the s and k have been the sounds we've been working on this week. But today, as promised, I'm going to give you the other spellings for the sound s. The other spellings. I told you there was two more of them. And we don't use them too much, but they are there. And here we go. So we already know S, sun, s. We know dress, SS, s. And all week we've been doing C, scent, s. So between S, SS, and scent, that covers my cubes. That covers about this many ways to spell the sound s. So if this is all the words that use the s sound, this many of them would use the three ways you already know. And between the two ways that are left, they got to split this one turn right here. They got to take turns. Now, here we have CE and SE, and they are used to spell the final S in words, and they're never at the beginning. They're never at the beginning. So words like prince and rinse use CE and or SE to spell the sound S. The sound S is spelled CE and SE in these words. And they're used very, very rarely. We don't use these very often at all. Let's see if I can get a little bit more, just a little more clarity as to when to do what. I'm looking for how do you know which one is which when you're trying to spell a new word. Okay, here we go. So usually, they're typically used after other vowel sounds. So they're used after vowel sounds and in consonant clusters. So like the word prince, the NC is a consonant cluster, and rinse and S is a consonant cluster. It doesn't appear as if I have explicit directions as to which one you use which time. I think it's a matter of which one looks better. Isn't English grand? Okay, only at the end, and never the beginning, and typically after other vowel sounds. So after vowel sounds, typically, oh my goodness gracious, I know how to use words. Never the beginning, after vowel sounds, at the end of word. Prince, rinse, or syllables such as princess, because you're adding that extra sound. So prince and princess. So prince, dance, rinse, horse. Now we know how to spell those words. What you're going to do today, today's a short one. I told you I was going to give you those sounds, but because we don't use, this one turn is split between those two, and we also don't have really clear-cut rules as if it's CE or SE. Never the beginning, after a vowel sound, usually the end of a word. You're going to sort these words by their spelling for the sound S. Today you will sort these words by the spelling for the sound S. You will also see that spelling, the spellings for the sound S, bold in the story you're going to read today, titled Mr. Spencer and the Rabbits. So I really like being partner A, and if you guys don't mind, I'd like to continue being partner A. Is that okay? Okay, good. I'll keep being partner A. I'm not going to read the questions that come out of the book, but if I have extra questions, those I will read to you. You're going to have to, you're going to have to sound them out. You're going to decode them. They are, in fact, decodable. But let me give you just a little bit of vocabulary for this story. Because, it's not that you can't sound out the word. It's do you know what the word means? Because that matters, too. So in this story, Mr. Spencer and the rabbits, clearly something's going on with a Mr. Spencer and some rabbits. You're going to hear about a harvest. And we have actually heard that one before, but it literally means to pick plants that are ready to be eaten or sold at market. There will also, something's going to be ripe, ready to be eaten. So ripe and harvest go together. If something is ripe, it needs to be harvested. Like remember what we did with the hurricane was coming, when we were learning about the Maya people, and they had to harvest the corn before the hurricane came, and they got all the corn, and it was like, yeah, we got the corn. So that happened. Mad as a hornet is an expression used to mean very angry. I don't want to know who's angry as a hornet, but we're going to find out together. Another regional expression you can hear is Midwest. Low-key, I'm from the Midwest. Oh, I'm kind of from the Midwest. I'm kind of from here. Depends on, I was born here. I grew up there. I came back. So the Midwest is a region of the United States. It's the middle of the United States where many, many crops that we eat here are grown. This includes the state of Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, that's my state, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. It's a lot of states there, and there's actually, some of those states, are fun fact, are more populated by livestock, animals for eating, and crops than they are people. But yeah, that's where most of the nation's food comes from, the Midwest. But listen today, read today, to learn more about how Grace's dad solves a problem he has with some rabbits. So so the title of the reader is Grace, okay? We got that, we've seen that before. If you haven't, you should have, because you got it. So Grace, and the title of the story is Mr. Spencer's Rabbits. And I just told you to read today's story to learn about how Grace's dad solves a problem he has with some rabbits. I would imagine Mr. Spencer must be Grace's dad. I don't know yet, but we are going to have to read to find out. Like always, read to find out. And make sure you are practicing and preparing, because you do have that good old spelling test tomorrow. Yes, you do. All right, guys, I will see you a little bit later. Until then, have a good day.